Hello and welcome. It is 19 minutes past 12, past noon on Monday, the 16th of December 2024. Hello and welcome. Thank you for being here. Let's breathe. Again, I just wanted to say how much I appreciate your presence here to share these, well, I should say to share this voice with you. It is only, mm, what is the word? Not resonating, not mirroring, but it is only a reflection of your own voice to remind you that you are a powerful voice and simply breathing here. It's all we need to do. And there's some clearing going on. And I've come here online to share with you spontaneously. It is not a good day, but neither it is a bad day. Maybe this is the feeling of the, endings are beginnings. This is what I'm being reminded just now. And I opened up here to be the raw, authentic vessel to what wishes to come through at the same time. I really do not have any idea how to start and what to say, and so I'm letting that go. It is more what would like to be expressed via me at this moment. And there is much happening at the same time, as possibly it's always been that way. It just felt quieter. Well, we are in the full moon window. Officially, it was yesterday, but phases, 8 phases in a month, so roughly 3 to 4 days. But it is more like 3 days coming, 3 days being, and 3 days going, or something like that. It's very individual, maybe too, and it depends also on your beingness. What I mean with this is the makeup of the the various elementals and the Western tropical zodiac puts this full moon at the Gemini. Higher wisdom I'm getting. I'm not an astrologer, even though I attempt to study it for understanding this life here. Though maybe really, yeah, maybe this wanting to understand is very much the Sagittarius Gemini axis philosophy, knowing, knowledge, all these big words. Physically, yesterday was very tiring and it still is today. So that always shows there is a lot of energy going inside, and we know from what our current level of understanding is, there are many energies reaching us, and there are levels in between levels and pictures in between pictures, and I'm getting a lot of undiscovered, now you would call it asteroids. I just name it stars. It's lights. Yeah, it's lights. It's light. I see it like starry lights, but it is light in many forms. And light has, it's light plasma, really. And plasma has become such a general term, but there are various descriptions of what that means. As water is not just water and air isn't just air, and we have such a, I'm getting a word that I don't know, biennial. So that means a linear understanding and binary in terms of good and bad and nothing in between understanding. That doesn't really fit what it is. So plasma looks a bit like this see-through jelly-like, yeah, like, yeah, but at the same time you can breathe it and you can touch it and you can see it, and so it is more like a cloud than a blob. Okay. I would like to, first of all, remind ourselves of our family members, all of them, but particularly those that we loved most, and particularly those that are no longer in physical form sitting at our table, but maybe they are in our hearts or standing behind us, and we're not able to see them as such, but we are able to perceive them. And then I would like to greet everyone who has a birthday today, as there are some family members of mine that have a birthday today. And I also would like to greet everyone who has a day of birthing into the other realm. One would call it a day of passing here. It's so one-sided again. Our teaching is so, yeah, non-multidimensional. Really, passing from this planet is a celebration too. It is just, as we are so much in this and of this, earth, we feel it may be a loss. And so I like to honor all those that left this plane, even if it is some years ago. So thanking them for being part of my life, for being who they were, and for giving what they could give, and for giving all that I couldn't share. Let's breathe. Maybe let's focus on a huge circle of love around us. Maybe that is what we need today. We need to remember ourselves. That with this I mean the totality and the richness of our entire beingness that is accumulated here in this physical body, what has all the connections in all situations, lifetimes, and talents and gifts, and to remind myself and with this you that being here simply breathing and really feeling our heart and acknowledging our sensitivity, our vulnerability, our hearts, the many, many, many layers of our hearts. And to remind each one of us that we love our being, to self-love, and that in breathing we are sharing this love. And even we may feel powerless in many areas of life right now, and we may not understand why on earth, why on this planet there still are conflicts, that after so many aeons, so many decades, so many years, and so many conflicts, with so many resources, so many lives, so many family members of those that survived it, and so on, of so many for such a high price nature and animals and human beings pay for these tantrums that are unnecessary. How can it be, you may be wondering, then, when we are love, that there is conflict? And all I can say is that we are still experiencing the ending of a very old, encrusted, dinosaur skeleton-like era that is just so unreal and unnatural. It did have surely some good moments within it, but on the whole, it just limited our upbringing, our cultural understanding, our science, our wisdom, even our own consciousness, as it seemed everything that is beneficial for us was not nurtured. So this is why many of us maybe feel we don't have a purpose and we don't feel powerful, and that maybe we only function in terms of our archetypes and role play. But besides of everything that you are, parents or siblings or friends or partners, you are yourself. And to acknowledge in yourself that you are giving your best, and your best is good enough. Good enough for this life and good enough for this earth. And that many, many, many concepts may not be real or may not be true, yet there may be many voices that believe in those concepts and uphold them. So one sentence that just came to me while I was responding to an email from a dear soul that I've just got in contact with a few days ago, and thank you. I was contemplating why there was lack, or why there's the feeling of lack in this life at this moment, at this time of celebration, as we are coming to the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere, and really a celebration of peace and abundance and light and love. And how can I feel lack? And it has to do with the old system, because personally I no longer believe in this fact that we have to do the shadow work and we have to feel miserable to feel better. It's all words that no longer fit. And so the sentence that came about, diamonds are made through pressure, so that pressure always brings you to the shining light of your diamond, your inner diamond, your diamond core. But the sentence that came was that, yeah, maybe diamonds are formed under pressure. Maybe diamonds are formed under pressure, but they shine via love. So this is maybe what I wanted to share today, to anchor here in this land. And while I have the circle of love around me, I would like to extend the circle around my home, the physical land here. And I am then sending this out around the country, and then the continent, and then the entire planet, and actually the entire solar system. And it seems there is so much influx of, it seems like it's interesting, this comet type stars that is part of Christmas. It seems there are kind of a meteoroid shower like of these special stars, Christmas stars, whatever. And I didn't anticipate this coming on here, but it seems there is, yeah, a positive hailstorm of light-filled starlight. Yeah, I'm seeing it coming through the ionosphere. However, and it may well be that we are the receivers, and that this is one of the reasons why the body feels so very tired, like as if you overworked your muscles all over. Lots of gold and white light coming in. And at this point, I could just close this and wish you a peaceful winter solstice and the celebrations around. Yeah, Christmas, but spelled with a K-R-Y from crystal. Nothing to do with any church, nothing to do with any god. It is about a frequency. It's love light, even though one cannot actually separate the two. And at the same time as I am resting here in my cave, it's a dark cave. There isn't really such a thing as darkness in the way that we interpreted it. In fact, in the darkness lies the peace. It rests there, restores itself. And in this cave, the womb, if you want to say it, of this planet is protection. And I just wanted to remind you that whatever comes up for you is your truth, and so that's enough. No need to compare it with the concepts of others, and maybe it is such that everything that is written, if it is truly received by the heart, then it has truth. It can still be totally individual. The mood is going a bit sombersome now. I haven't expected that. I wanted to leave an uplifting message. And also, um, okay, there's a few words to say to those that have listened to some of my shared words. whether from the website blueroom.org or from the YouTube where you're listening now. I appreciate having these tools. Excuse me. As you see, there is clearing on. There's clearing coming on. There is healing going on when I speak, and I hope my voice is not sounding too harsh, as I feel rather it seems I need to have a strong voice to break through the barriers of old energies, and it's not how I wish to be or wish to live. I'm sort of done with this Mars type fighting for one's right, big lion hard. It is a gentleness, really, that reaches others. At this point, I just wanted to acknowledge my courage for coming on here at all and speaking to you. And then I would like to thank you. I would like to thank those 28 subscribers, each one of you individually. And I would like to thank all those that have listened to any of my words, as I trust that the necessary energetic exchange and the what word to use? Energetic codes, vibrations have been exchanged, and I also would like to trust that speaking up has a positive effect on healing the land and healing all the souls that hear it, and helping nature and this planet that is as tired as we are, and why do we still have to transmute things? I suppose because it's not all about us. And maybe it's a natural occurrence of what the human intelligence is bringing with itself. Okay, I wanted to thank also the YT, even though I have to say I don't like any of the advertising or the business model. I don't like any of the spying or the spreading of non-real information. Nevertheless, there are a lot of good people that share their wisdom on YT, and for this, I thank that organization and the people behind it. I am also thankful for having inherited a computer here that is on its last legs, but nevertheless it is working. And I still have an internet connection and the headphones and so on. And I'm also thanking the abundance that is in my life and having this place to rest my body on in this room that is warm enough, and having the company of some four-leggeds and being in the countryside. And even though there is this blustery wind out there, I would like to thank all the elements for doing their bit. And it's stirring up things. And this is maybe why, yeah, my voice is like a tree in the wind, its branches being shaken, but it firmly stands rooted on this ground, on this planet, on Earth. And let the weather happen as it is. It stands. And so this is a little bit what we do as well. And I'm so sorry I cannot get a more loving, kind energy via my voice. It sounds very firm and strong from what I can hear. I truly hope the golden spark of our inner heart is being felt and seen, and the intention of meaning well and wanting to share. So this is maybe the wish for our world for the next calendar year, for, well, these last days that go deeper into the dark, while there's the strong full moon. We may not know how we will feel in a week's time or at the solstice. It is a turn, starting of a turn, one should say, but so, okay, the wish that is arising in me is that for sharing, that next year will be in the light of sharing. With this, I mean, we are sharing our wisdom, we are sharing our knowledge, we're sharing supporting each other, we're sharing our experience, we're sharing our feelings, we're sharing our truth, and we're sharing peace. I really, really, really have this big feeling of next year peace will be here. And many always say peace starts within. Yeah, but it's a symbiosis. It's both. So if one can influence the other, then our inner decision for peace should also positively influence the outer. I cannot understand why anyone would want to have the responsibility of destroying family members of other families and getting fame or being paid or having karmically to live with that, passing this experience on to any offspring. So I'm maybe not clever enough to understand this. I send compassion and I send the consciousness that the experiences that are happening are bringing those to an inner consensus that the memory that is coming to mind is that way back then, I think it started in the 20s, but it certainly came then into fruition. I don't even have a date right now, but it came into fruition after the second big conflict from the last century happened. That first of all, France and Germany created this agreement. Yeah, and involved natural resources, steel and so on, coal and electricity. And I get the name Schumann, but I can't remember if this is true. And it had to do with the fact that it was the beginnings of the European Union that has many different names and had to do with economics. But the original thought was to not have resources to forge weapons and create wars. And so these two neighboring nations got together with this promise not to use resources for conflicts. And the original thought was peace. So, and maybe this organization is gonna break up like many others too, because it's just, mm, well, it's like with the law. There may be a law, but then it's an individual interpretation of it. So it is a matter of how you interpret something. And shouldn't it be for something that is beneficial for this planet where we reside on? Never mind from where we come from. Why can we not focus on big, good community dreams? There's so many resources out there and so much abundance, and so why does our so-called survival fear get triggered? I personally don't believe this concept. We come onto this planet with a trust in life, with a trust into our parents or the caretakers to take care of us. The first notion is trust. And from there springs the love. We trust life, however that may turn out to be. It's this inner trust. So it's only through trauma that this fear is being wrongly nurtured. This is not a healthy fear. I don't mean the fear where you automatically pull your hand from the flame not to get burned. I don't mean that fear. I mean that phantom fear of what could be, the lack of a home, the lack of food, the lack of water, the lack of clothing, and above all, the lack of being loved. So I wish for us to come together, and I also wish for us to feel our strength. And I wish for the consciousness and understanding from the masses that each life is important and nobody can take advantage. And that there is true abundance and true love. And I would like to see that the so-called lack of self-worth being eliminated from this plane. That we have choice and feel empowered, and not that we need to run after every dime and every job and accumulate materialistic means. Yet We cannot build a society based on lack. And what makes somebody wanting to have more than they need is the lack of understanding. Okay, I don't have the answers right now, and I should close. The energy has quietened down. My body is trying to figure things out, which is not the way to share with you. Okay, I'm guided to do a small focus. Let's start a little inner journey, a little meditation. Taking deep breath. Really dropping deeper into your core. Breathing in rhythm in your core. What is your wish? Deep inside your belly, deep inside your heart, deep inside your core, deep inside your heart. And you may not get a word, you may get a feeling. And what would you like to contribute to this world, to the altar? And is there anything that I haven't asked or mentioned? Have you got a wish, or you would like to say something to someone else, or what is it that you would like to be seen manifesting on this planet for now and the future? Thank you. Take a deep breath and maybe open your eyes, and thank you for listening. Going to close now, and there's so much sadness coming up that I have no idea who it belongs to, where it comes from, or why we need to feel it. And I just want to honor that sadness. And mm, I suppose it is because of all what has happened in this last year, the last 5 years, and needing to remind ourselves that whatever comes up shows itself because it is wishing for healing. So let's hug that sadness, acknowledge it rather than pushing it away. And usually things come up because they're moving out. And reminding ourselves that our bodies self-heal, our souls self-heal. We are connected at all times. And so we trust that. So it seems there is this week where we need to, or where we can heal this sadness. to acknowledge that we're strong enough to feel it. So the last invocation or the last wish of today is that we can heal this sadness. I am healing my sadness. I am healing this sadness. I am healing the sadness that my body perceives. The sadness is being healed in it being allowed to express. And whenever there is this kind of energy of something that's been unloved and we love it, it sets free a lot of new energy to be used elsewhere. So we trust this healing process that our soul, our body, that this planet, that every individual cells, that our consciousness, that the entire consciousness knows how to heal itself. For some reason, this sadness wants to be seen. And while it is being seen, it can turn into gold. I'm wishing everyone that they feel loved, that they have laughter in their life, that everyone is able to have food, to have a home, and to belong, to be listened to. And if you find yourself on your own, then that you hear yourself and that you are connected to your entire beingness. And should you still feel sadness, then I am sending you a golden heart. So you yourself can feel your golden heart. for good endings and new, very good beginnings. Much love from me to you, and thank you for sharing. Peace and love and abundance of all the good things for everyone here, now, everywhere. And so it is. And this is Blue, having the courage to be of service. Thank you for sharing. And so it is. Thank you.